Is that recorded? It is. What's happening? Do you know what word I really don't like? I hate the word influencer. I myself, it sounds ridiculous when you look at my numbers, right? If you're not from Northern Ireland and you're watching this, in this very small little island, it doesn't take much to become an influencer. And I'm not trying to blow smoke up my own ass, but there are people who would refer to me as an influencer. I don't like it. I believe influence should be a byproduct of doing something. For me, from my perspective, is I'm a professional creative. In the last 5-6 years, part of what I've done has been on social media, on Instagram primarily, and a little bit of YouTube. I would always describe myself as a little bit of an unorthodox shooter in how I do stuff, photo and video. And I've been a graphic designer and art director for years. And a lot of that comes with the experience of working brand side and working in advertising. So I do have a very commercial mind in the way that I shoot and approach stuff. I look at things like photography, video, graphic design, illustration. I use illustration very loosely when it comes to me, but those are all tools that I use to create stuff for people and companies. Content, I guess we could call it. Another phrase that I hate, content creator. It's so soulless sort of stuff. To get us back on track, over the years I've worked with beer brands, traveled with the Scottish Tourist Board and the Irish Tourist Board. I've done stuff with Wex, who are like a camera store. I do a little bit on and off with Sennheiser. That's because I believe in the products and the things that I'm doing. I also get a shit ton of requests to do other stuff. And 90% of stuff I turn down. Everything from, do you want to come to this event? Do you want to try our product? Would you like some free this or free? And I'm not fucking interested. It's not something, I'm not here to influence people. That's never a goal. Influence is a byproduct of the content that I make on the internet. Fuck, that was a long-winded way of getting us to the point. I went on a trip to Edinburgh with my good buddy Daniel Smith. And this is the story of that. Loads of us haven't been able to travel a lot recently. Now, it's speaking to someone who I like and you know him from years ago and always sort of liked their business, and it's a business called Holiday Ninja and they're based in Northern Ireland. The general concept is it's a website for people in Northern Ireland to travel anywhere in the world. They work with local travel agents, local suppliers, local companies and stuff like that to organize packages. Got chatting to them and they were like, look, would you be up for doing something with us? We'll send you somewhere and we'll cover the costs for flights, accommodation, and give you a bit of spending money towards food and maybe an activity and things you want to do while you're there. They were like, just go and chill and enjoy yourself and just document what you're doing as you go. I would love to go to Edinburgh and just walk around it and take nice photographs. That sounds like a great time to me. I know my buddy Dan would be well up for that. So I don't want to go and do token bullshit. Here's the way I do things. You tell me if that works for you. The way I do things on Instagram is I shoot and edit stuff on my phone as I go. I use Adobe Premiere Rush and I'll shoot these videos and I'll upload them in stages throughout the day. I just took a small camera kit with me with a couple of lenses and I was sort of shooting photographs and then filming video for this and then also shooting the Instagram stories. It can be quite stressful. Now, this video's got nothing to do with them. This wasn't something we agreed. This is just something I wanted to do. When I was chatting to them afterwards, they were laughing. They were like, but you didn't need to stress yourself out. And I was like, I know that, but my nature is to stress myself out with stuff like that because I want to do it nicely because I love the experience and I love the process of creating videos and photos and sharing those stories with people. For me, it's not just like going on a holiday and hanging out because the whole time I'm thinking, story. What way did I switch that camera? What was the last thing I added to that? What do I need to bring into this? How will this tie in with that? Will that narrative make sense throughout the day and the story arc from waking up to going to sleep? What things do I mention? How do I mention it? What sort of tone of voice do I need to bring across? And I like it to be very authentic to the way I am. So I've got my tone of voice that is the overarching tone, but then I've also got to tie it in with who their audience might be or the hotel that we're staying at and what they might think in a restaurant we're eating at. And it can be quite a tricky thing. Now, I've always believed in being 100% honest with what I'm doing. So if I say I like something, I like something. If I say I don't like something, I fucking do not like it. And I think without that authenticity, then you've lost people. So I hope it comes across in the videos that I make. And if you ever watch the Instagram stories, still takes photos. You can go and take a look. Arrived in Edinburgh Airport, hopped on a tram. That was really cool. Nice quick journey into the city centre. As soon as we got on a tram, we experienced an amazing piece of GPSA. If you don't know what that is, it's a phrase I coined, which is general public separation anxiety, right? And it's a process of people who need to fucking be right next to other people all the time. You know, like if you drive into a car park and there's like 200 bays and you think, I'm just gonna park at the back away from everyone. You park there and you come back out to your car and some dick is parked right next to you and there's bays galore everywhere else. And it's because they had to park next to you. Or if you walk into a shop and you go up to a shelf, someone will be like, they have to be there. Everywhere you need to be, if you need to walk through a door, they need to be at the door because people need to be near other people. That's my theory behind it anyway. Got on the tram. The tram had like 3 huge sections. Dan and I got on, the whole thing was empty. We sat in it, hopped on. This couple got on, both wearing quite intense masks. They walked in and they felt that they needed to wear a mask on the tram, which is fine, right? They put their bags on a rack and then they sat right behind us. There. Right there. There were fucking chairs everywhere. And I'm like, if you come in and you feel you're wearing a mask, either you're abiding by rules or you're concerned. In which case, why would you sit right the fuck behind someone? Especially 2 guys not wearing masks. I was like, what the fuck is, why? That's how we started off, a little bit of GPS, hopped into the city. We basically spent the week walking around between pubs and restaurants. We ate food and drank beer and just took photos. We're in a place called Yotel. I picked it because it's a little bit trendy. The whitest rooms I've ever seen. Everything was white. Doors, corridors, just like tunnels of white. And I was just like, Jesus, it's very bright in here. When the guys at Holiday Ninja had booked it, they'd booked us this room. I hadn't really thought about this until the day before. And then I looked and I was like, fuck, we're in a twin room, me and Dan. And then I phoned up Dan. I was like, listen, fella, I love you, all right? But do you want to share a room with me? And he was like, fuck no. And I was like, that's what I like to hear. So I said to him, why don't we just split the cost of another room? For 2 nights, it was like 120 quid. So 60 quid each. We just put our own money into that because I'd rather pay a little bit more and have a bit of zen. And that's what we did. And that made all the difference. At the end of the trip, I said to him, can you imagine if we had to stay in the same fucking room together every night? And after me going, because I talk a lot and Dan's super mellow. So the whole day I'm just like, in Dan's ear. I feel more sorry for him if we'd have to stay in a room together more than anybody else. But I do my own head in, let alone his. So that was a great decision. We were there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So this was the Wednesday night. And Dan was like, look, if we're going to get up early, we might as well fucking get up when it's super dark and just go. So we got a Uber across the town at like 6 a.m., sometime around at 6:30. And we hiked up this mountain that Dan had seen on the maps. And the main road was closed. We had to walk up. But there was fucking snow on the mountain. It's like, what is going on in this weather? We walked up top of this mountain to see these beautiful views of Edinburgh City.
for that, Daniel. Good shout. Weren't really sure how good it was going to be on the way up because it was very grey and very flat and dark and a bit dull looking. But yeah, we persevered and we walked up a hill for a bit.
We went to this weird place called World of Illusions, City of Illusions, the Camera Obscura. And this was the one activity Holiday Ninja had organized for us. They gave me a bunch of them and I was like, nah, look, I'm not really interested in that. And I don't mean to be rude, but it's not my scene. But this one was like, it's all about basically this big camera they have at the top of this dome that's a mirror with light that reflects down. So there's not actually a camera, it just takes the light onto this big mirror and it sort of projects it onto this table at the bottom. And it is amazing what you can see in it. But the whole place is all about illusions. And when Dan and I walked in, I was like, look, dude, this looks like it could be really cool or fucking shit. But it was really cool. Walked in, I was a little bit underwhelmed at the beginning when I walked in, so it did cater for children as well. But then we went to this weird, like, it's like a spinning circle with a bridge down the middle of it. And the bridge didn't move. All that happened was the whole thing spun around you. And there was all these weird lights and stuff. And when you try to walk across it, you start walking across all skew and you're really disorientated and really, really, really weird. And like messes with your head. So we messed about in that for a little bit, went into a room of mirrors. I'd never been into one of those. Dan and I didn't know what the hell was going on. Couple of different, like, just a load of different things from like warped mirrors and like perspective change, like rooms with like weird perspective on it. So like you look big and small. If you're going there and you're into that sort of stuff, I would say it's worth it. And then there's a lovely view up at the top. You can see out around the city. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was pretty affordable and it was really, really cool. I quite enjoyed it. That was as much of the touristy shit that we did. I thought it was really good. I got to spend a few days with a good friend of mine doing what we love, taking photographs, drinking beer, eating food. You know what's not to love about that? And I did the stories the whole time while we were doing this. We were shooting all stuff. I was filming these Instagram stories every single day, three batches of stories a day. Each batch was around a minute and a half. I actually think they turned up being longer. They messaged me afterwards and said, look, we've had really good feedback from the stories. People have really enjoyed them. It was easy for me, affordable for them. I got something out of it. They got something out of it. We all had fun. And for me, that is a good relationship there that could hopefully spiral into something where we get to do a load more stuff. So one, if you haven't been to Edinburgh, absolutely go and do it and walk around the city, spend a couple of days there, eat in the restaurants. Everything's really, really cool and I highly recommend Edinburgh. And number two, if you are in the world of influence, whether you've decided to do that or you are like me and it's kind of a byproduct, I don't make a living from that. I make a living from working as a professional. This is just extra stuff on the side that allows me to do cool shit. Find something that you want to do. Work with people you like. Think about what you're doing. Don't just flog any old shit. Have a bit of integrity, okay? So all the videos I make, the photos I take, and the stories that I tell are all about me and my life and the things that I enjoy doing, like surfing, riding bikes, drinking beer, making beer, you know, photography and videos and things like that. And those are my interests. Those are things that I do, and everything sort of revolves roughly around that. So these guys came to me, do you want to do this travel thing? Yes, but it needs to work for me, and I know it needs to work for you. So let's find a ground where we're all happy with what we're doing. If you want to go look at the highlights on my page, on my Instagram page, we can go and watch the stories from Edinburgh. Anyway, so thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy. Katie, don't play with that blade. Holy shit. Those are like, is that another blade? Do not, listen to me, do not touch those blades. They are so sharp. They are those are surgical blades. I'm in the studio here and Katie's, my daughter, is here to keep me company while I shoot these videos. And she's on the other side of the studio colouring in drawing. She's got on fucking surgical blades. They are for cutting skin open. All right, please don't do that.